won't ever be one.
Right.
But with that being said, you asked me, who do I want to take the last shot?
Mm-hmm.
It's Michael Jeffrey Jordan,
Right.
born February 17th, 1963 in Brooklyn, New York. Okay? Now, who do I want to make the play? It's LeBron Ramon James, born December 30th, 1984.
I mean, you had to get that right because his birthday was yesterday,
I was
and you
gonna
got
get it right
Jordan's
anyway.
right.
Yeah, but I'm just telling you. So when people say, oh, it's weird, there's nothing weird. Everyone has their own opinion.
Right.
And I definitely have mine.
By
in
the way, I
addition
want
to-
Michael Jordan
and the ability
doing
to say,
everything at the
but
end of the game.
Yeah,
Make
no,
the
no.
decision with the ball,
No.
score.
That's not true.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Someone trying to walk a tightrope instead of standing firm. The moment Max Kellerman asked the question, it should have been simple. Who takes the last shot? Either you say Michael Jordan or you say LeBron James. Both answers are defensible opinions. But Rich Paul tried to split the moment in half. He wanted to give Michael Jordan credit without taking anything away from LeBron, and that's where the problem started. Basketball, especially at the end of games, is not played in half ideas. Someone has the ball, someone controls the moment, someone lives with the result. When Rich Paul said Michael Jordan should take the last shot, many people were surprised, but they understood it. Michael Jordan has decades of proof, game winners, series enders, finals moments, cold-blooded shots with everything on the line. That part made sense. But then Rich Paul added that LeBron James should initiate the play, control the ball, and deliver it to Jordan. That's where things stopped adding up. Michael Jordan was never a player who waited. He did not stand around hoping someone would create space for him. He did not rely on another star to set the table. He was the table. When the game was on the line, Jordan demanded the ball, brought it up the floor, read the defense.
The same age as someone else who was almost like they're around the same level, but he would think, I'm going to get up, I'm going to get to the gym at 5 a.m., and I'm going to get 2 hours extra in before he does. I'm paraphrasing, but he goes, and then, 5 years later, that guy can never catch up to me.
Philly was going to trade that pick. And I called, and I told Elton Brand, for sure, he'll tell you, I cannot lie on our pod. I said, Elton, I'm telling you right now, if this guy gets to you, you better take him. Because he should have been gone.
Right.
He should have been gone.
Where did he go? What number did he go?
21.
Oh, right. Damn.
But when you think about it,
21. I don't even remember. It was 21.
I think Detroit took Killian Hayes because he would know this because he's on Detroit as far as guards. I forgot who the Knicks took.
Was that the draft where they took French dude?
Not Nicolina.
No, it wasn't Nicolina. What draft?
That LeBron James is the greatest player of all time. That statement felt less like a belief and more like a shield. It felt like someone trying to calm a storm that was already forming online.
This is where the panic narrative comes from. Not panic in the sense of fear, but panic in the sense of losing control of the message. In today's media world, clips move faster than explanations. Once Rich Paul said Michael Jordan would take the last shot, the internet ran with it. And for someone so closely tied to LeBron, that's a problem, because any praise of Jordan is seen by some fans as betrayal. The deeper issue here is basketball knowledge versus basketball branding. Rich Paul is a powerful agent. He understands contracts, leverage, and business better than almost anyone. But that does not automatically translate to deep understanding of past basketball eras. Michael Jordan played in a different league, with different rules, different pace, and far more physical defense. Yet he still dominated end-of-game moments in a way that no one has matched consistently. Michael Jordan initiated plays because he could do everything. He could score, pass, draw double teams, and read defenses in real time. His assist numbers do not tell the full story because the game was slower and lower scoring. Fewer possessions meant fewer assists. That doesn't mean less playmaking. It means different conditions. LeBron James, on the other hand, often makes the right basketball play, even if that means passing. That has worked many times, but it has also failed many times.
LeBron, realistically, a guy who could not be on the Lakers at the end of this year.
No.
He will be on the Lakers at the end of this year.
Yeah, where's he going to go?
I mean, New York comes to mind.
That's wishful thinking,
if they
Max.
can't,
You're from New York.
The Knicks would love Giannis, right, or someone like that, but the price tag for a 100-year-old guy making $50 million a year is a lot lower. And actually, I think as a kid who grew up rooting for the Knicks. He's still in me somewhere. You know, I don't think the Knicks can win a championship as currently constructed
Does LeBron
either.
make the
because
Knicks
Brunson's
better?
too small.
Yes.
Yeah.
He would, of
Yeah.
course. But 29 other teams would say the same thing.
But they don't have the assets or the need quite, or are in the position or are in the market that makes sense for LeBron. Like if the Knicks can't land a guy like Giannis, which let's see them do it. It's hard to do.
Very hard to do.
And they'd have to give up so much to get Giannis. And you can give up less and get LeBron, who really the Knicks just got to strike while the iron's hot, right?
That is not who he was. This situation also shows how modern debates are less about truth and more about sides. You're either Team LeBron or Team Jordan. There is no room for nuance. So when Rich Paul tried to be nuanced, it backfired. Both sides felt unsatisfied. Jordan fans felt disrespected. LeBron fans felt uneasy. In the end, trying to save face only made the situation louder. Each explanation added another layer instead of clearing the air. Sometimes the best response is to stand on what you said and accept the reaction. Backtracking rarely convinces anyone. This whole moment reveals why the Jordan versus LeBron debate never ends. It's not just about basketball. It's about leadership, confidence, pressure, and how people define greatness. Jordan represents dominance and finality. LeBron represents versatility and longevity. Both are valid. But when you mix them in the same final possession, the idea falls apart. Rich Paul didn't lose credibility because he picked Michael Jordan. He lost credibility because he tried to please everyone. Basketball fans respect conviction more than balance. Say what you believe and live with it. At the end of the day, if the clock is ticking, the crowd is silent, and everything is on the line, history tells us exactly who people trust. Michael Jordan wants the ball. He brings it up, he creates the moment, and he takes the shot. Anything else is rewriting reality. This situation should be a reminder that knowing basketball history matters, respecting the past matters, and speaking clearly matters, because once the words are out, there is no panic button that truly works. This conversation also exposes something bigger than just one podcast clip. It shows how uncomfortable people have become with honest basketball opinions when money, branding, and loyalty are involved. Rich Paul is not just talking as a fan. He is talking as someone whose entire career is connected to LeBron James. That makes every word heavier, even
anyone knows quite how good he is.
Fair.
Who is that?
Whew. I mean, I'm calling Atlanta.
Right.
I'm calling Atlanta. And I want Jalen Johnson.
See, that's what I'm thinking.
He's from Milwaukee.
If you got him in the trade, I could believe that could happen.
But because that's a guy who you can see. And I'm not just saying, by the way, you didn't even know that I represent Jalen Johnson.
Right. Correct.
So that's not I'm not Mr. Bias right now. I'm just giving you a real.
Because sometimes you will be Mr. Bias.
I'll be Mr. Bias.
Will you ever admit to being Mr. Bias?
I will admit to being Mr. Bias prior to, I would say.
Okay.
I'm putting my Mr. Bias hat on.
Can we make Rich a Mr. Bias hat?
But this is not Mr. Bias. This is real basketball acumen.
Got it.
I'm calling Atlanta.
The best decision is always the pass. If a defense collapses, you kick it out. If a teammate is open, you give it up. That logic makes sense for most of the game, but the final seconds are different. The final seconds are about who can handle chaos. Michael Jordan thrived in chaos. Double teams did not rush him. Physical defense did not scare him. Noise did not distract him. He slowed the game down in his mind while everyone else sped up. That is why people trusted him. That is why teammates trusted him. That is why coaches trusted him.
LeBron James, by contrast, often tries to solve the problem perfectly. Sometimes that means taking the shot. Sometimes that means passing. But in life-or-death basketball moments, perfection is not always what people want. They want certainty. They want someone who says, "This is mine." That difference in mindset is not an insult. It is a contrast. And Rich Paul's comments accidentally highlighted that contrast in a way he probably did not intend. Another thing that stood out was the idea that Michael Jordan would somehow prefer LeBron to initiate the play. That assumption is strange. Jordan respected great players, but he also demanded control. He wanted the ball because he believed he was the best option. There is no evidence, past or present, that suggests Jordan would willingly step aside in the final seconds and wait. Jordan did not become Jordan by deferring. He became Jordan by asserting himself. He trusted his instincts more than any play drawn on a board. He trusted his ability to read the defense in real time. That is not something you hand off to someone else. This is why people say Rich Paul's comments show a lack of understanding of Jordan's mentality. It is not about skill, it is about psychology. Jordan's greatest weapon was not his jump shot or his athleticism. It was his belief that the moment belonged to him.
When you study Jordan's career, you see a pattern. He wanted responsibility. He wanted pressure. He wanted to be blamed if it...
Trae Young, and it was a package sent. The best player in the package that's coming to the Bucks is Trae Young, and then they have draft picks. One could be a top 5 pick. You know what?
No, you can't. That's not right. No. With Giannis, it has to be. It doesn't necessarily have to be a star because you're not getting a star back per se. Maybe you could.
Karl Anthony Towns.
Let me say, you're not getting a star back to the level of a Giannis.
You're not getting an MVP caliber
You're not getting
back.
Luka. You're not getting Jokic. You're not getting Shea. You
might get an all-star.
You can get an all-star back.
Right.
You can get an all-star back. If I'm the Bucks, I'm looking at young player, high character, high talent, high IQ, assets, and maybe some, ancillary guys that could
the next
play a
Tyrese
role.
Maxey before.
Not his jump shot or his athleticism. It was his belief that the moment belonged to him. When you study Jordan's career, you see a pattern. He wanted responsibility. He wanted pressure. He wanted to be blamed if it failed. That level of ownership is rare, and that is why people still talk about him decades later. LeBron James has had incredible moments as well. Championships, comebacks, historic performances. But the conversation here is narrow. It is not about careers. It is about one shot, one possession, one moment where there is no tomorrow. Rich Paul tried to turn that moment into a shared responsibility, but basketball history tells us that shared responsibility rarely works at the end of games. Someone must be the final decision maker. Someone must live with the result. The more Rich Paul explained himself, the more people felt he was digging deeper. Saying the comments were misconstrued did not convince anyone because the audio was clear. Saying LeBron is the greatest player of all time felt like a reset button, not a clarification. This is where fans get frustrated. They feel talked down to. They feel like they are being asked to ignore what they heard. Basketball fans are not stupid. They know when someone is changing tone to manage backlash. There is also a generational gap at play. Older fans grew up watching Jordan dominate end-of-game situations in a brutal physical league. Older fans grew up watching LeBron control games with versatility and intelligence. Both perspectives are valid, but they lead to different conclusions about the final shot. Rich Paul sits in the middle of that divide, and instead of choosing a side clearly, he tried to balance both. That rarely works in debates this emotional. The real lesson here is that honesty resonates more than strategy. If Rich Paul had simply said, "I trust Michael Jordan with the last shot, period," the backlash would have been smaller. Some fans would disagree, but they would respect the clarity. Trying to soften the blow created more noise.
At the same time, this moment shows how insecure modern sports debates have become. Praise for one legend is often seen as an attack on another. That mindset poisons real discussion. You should be able to say Jordan is the better last shot player without disrespecting LeBron's greatness. But in today's media environment, everything is clipped, shared, and weaponized. That makes people cautious. That makes people defensive. That makes people panic when the narrative slips. In the end, Rich Paul's comments did not change history. They did not change who Michael Jordan was. They did not change what LeBron James has done. But they did expose how difficult it is to speak freely when legacies are involved. Basketball fans will always debate this. That will never stop. But moments like this remind us why Michael Jordan still stands alone in certain conversations. Because when the pressure is highest and excuses are gone, people still trust him more than anyone else. And no amount of explanation, backtracking, or clarification can erase that truth.